My childhood was like, it was just me and my mother. My father was never there anyway, so it was just me and her, and then so it was almost like, how it was. I'm a mixed blood, and I grew up in the mainlands. So you could spot me out of, at the time I was a mixed blood, there are very few of my kind, very, very few, especially on the mainlands. Then the mix in the 70s. So the other mixed bloods that probably were there before me is like Boombuzz, for instance. But Boombuzz was on, I don't think it was on the mainland, it was an island kid. So for me, where I was, you could spot me anywhere. So I couldn't do anything bad and get away with it. So I've always been like in the spotlight, being mixed, right? Maybe that helped. Then, because of that also, I think I was, how old was I? I think I was 10. I'm trying to remember, I haven't it definitely because, and then Blue Band at the time, Blue Band Margarine at the time called me and then made me the face of Blue Band, which was very short-lived because something went wrong with the contract. My mother and them, I don't know why. All of a sudden, everything just went down. So, been in the limelight since then. And then came that, structural adjustment program, SAP, years in the 80s. When we all struggled, secondary school, and primary school, everything was pretty tough. So, then 90s. 90s now, university days and everything. So by 1990, I already got into the film industry, and it wasn't like there was an industry at the time. We were only doing the 89, 90, it was only soaps. There was not even home video at the time, you feel me? So the only way you could get anything was if you probably got on Checkmate, Behind the Clouds, Ripples by Zebejuro, and then Fortunes started off at that time. Well, 1990, it was a bit later than some of these other soaps that I called at the time. And I got into Fortunes because it was new. So they shot the pilot episode in 1991, and then 1993 came on air. It only lasted for just a year. But then the film industry started. And here I was, I didn't realize the power of media at this time I'm talking about. I didn't understand. Of course, I knew Michael Jackson. I knew Michael Jackson was loved worldwide. And it was like the only thing on the tip of the tongue of virtually everybody when it comes to music from the 80s, to the 90s. The only person as great artist then was Michael Jackson, pop artist if you're young. The other ones that are just when you know that you're into music and you love some brand of music, for instance, Anita Baker. You need to find your line of music to love the likes of Anita Baker, to love the likes of Whitney Houston, or Prince. So then it was more of Michael, and I know that everywhere I go, I loved Michael, and I'll say it. But my first month on air, Nigerian Television Authority, my first 1 month, they just showed it because they used to show it every week, and it was a Sunday belt. I remember trying to walk down my street, all the way down, and I had these little kids just running after me and just screaming, Jeff, 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 Jeff. And that actually bolted me because I didn't get it. I was wondering, what's the matter with these kids? Are they normal? Why are you running after me? I'm shoo, 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 shoo. I didn't get it. I didn't understand that I now I've become a star, I've become an idol, and I'm loved. I didn't get it because it's never happened to me before. So I was, shooing all these little kids that just kept running after me and calling me Jeff Akitamo's away. And that went on for a while, for a couple of months, until people started telling me, no, that's not how you treat fans. That's not how you treat them. You have to be nice to them. They love you. It's because they love you. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And then I started to understand what I've gotten into as an actor. And it lasted for just a year. I did not see home video. I didn't see the future there. So I stayed with the director who was directing Fortunes at the time, Chiko Ejiro, the guy who was always doing the soundtracks for us, Mike Inliam. And we did a movie together. Also, afterwards, Silent Night became a blockbuster. And then we just started to, grow. And before you know it, it was an in thing. All of a sudden, Nollywood moved to Enugu. I think that was 1999. I'm trying to remember if it was 98 or 99. Where we went to shoot the first film in Enugu. It's called Evil Men. The lead actor then was Zach Oji. And I played a bit of, role in it. And I think also, if I remember vividly, that's when I met Chinedu, I think. That's yeah. That's when I met him. He was still in school at the time, he was in university at the time. It's hard to tell, the fact that when they say favorite, I make it simple, because if you notice, I've probably worked with most of them, and they're all really good. And the fact that they're colleagues of mine compromises my judgment to say that, okay, one, I feel comfortable with one or feel comfortable with the other. I discovered something growing up in the art. You have to find a comfort zone with your other actor. It's not them finding your comfort zone, you find theirs. And if they have the same understanding, they'll find yours. And then you'll find a common ground normally, which should be the way around it. So compatibility between actors should be working that out amongst themselves. When you want to go and become an actor, you've accepted to play in a character, you should know that you must create a common ground for yourself and the other actors on set, likewise the crew, so that you can have a smooth flow. You can have a smooth flow of performance.
You pretty much saw the military regime in Nigeria growing up, and you got to play a part, Captain Joseph Dewa in 76. What was that like for you? Because you lived it, you lived that era, and then you played a movie about that era. What was that like?
I lived in the era, but I never lived in the military circle, and I know about them. I know about how disciplined they can be and all of that, but I never lived in it. The director, Izu Ojukwu, he lived in the military circle very well. So he had what you call almost like a visual one-on-one with the military, their story, their way of life, their mannerisms, their mindset, their mind thoughts, the hierarchies, the different ranks and all of that. He knew all of that, and then he brought it to the table. So when we wanted to film, he had always had that at the back of his mind that he was going to shoot a film on Muritala Muhammad, and it's ever since we talk about, when I do other films with him, because I shot other films with, they've not got to see the light of day anyways, with Izu Ojukwu. We shot The Pensioner, and I think that was sometime mid-2002, maybe 2007, thereabout. And may his soul rest in peace, he was alongside Uncle Sam Loco Efe. And it was also like a military kind of film. Izu is like a military, he likes, I don't know, he's done military action stuffs and everything, so he's a very military inclined personality. We did that before we now went into, all of that time he's been telling me about Muritala Muhammad, the 76 saga. And I think we started planning Muritala from 2009, thereabouts, and we didn't get filming until 2012, and there were some issues, some things he wanted to, because Zizu is a very deep person. When you meet him, you can tell how deep he is. And he wanted to tell the story, how he knew it, but the politics behind it just wouldn't let it fly. So he had to bend. But then in the same way, he still did a fantastic job, shooting 76. It was fun. We had the opportunity to actually shoot in Mokola Barracks in Ibadan, where for us to get into the military mind state, we were drilled for like a month or two. So we had the military drill of the march pass, the early morning jump, walk around, do all of that stuff. We had a true sergeant who would tell us the rubbish they usually tell those new interns when they're drilling them, and they would do that to us. At some point, when the guy shouted to me at one point, I said, bro, I beg. Now actually, I no be soldier, I beg, no can't kill me for here. So we had moments like that, and as much as it were, it was big fun. I loved it. I love the fact that so many times a lot of people will see me in the military attire and be like, man, I'm a fit you. Like, they felt like it really looked good on me. And yes, I liked it. I liked the fact that people could see me and they were convinced that I looked really nice in military and I was able to pull the character through. One of the key factors I think can help entertainment is creating an enabling environment for the business to thrive and grow. There's so many drawback factors. So many drawback factors. Now, the enabling environment also is putting laws and policies in place to protect the interest of this industry, to protect intellectual properties, to protect all these artists, the guilds, so that they can thrive. Like I said now, everyone wants quality. People will celebrate with you doing something big and nice. But then when the chips are down, like you can't make back what you've invested, everybody wouldn't be there for you. They'll just smile and give you a handshake, a tap on the shoulder. Oh, well done. And that's it. But well done doesn't pay the bills for you. It doesn't, And yes, the thing there is, I think the fact that the government is not seeing the potentials of the entertainment industry in the economy of the nation, that's why they don't see the reasons why they should, go the extra mile to create an enabling environment, to put in policies in place that will protect the interest of this industry. That's probably the reason. Until the government can see the potential contribution of entertainment in the economic growth, you understand me? And also the fact that entertainment actually not just contributes to the economic growth, pushes who you are, your culture, your way of life, your thinking, your persona to the other people, to make it amiable and people want to be like you. Not we wanted to be like them. So Nigerians was a stage for Nigerians where everybody just wanted to be like out there. They just want to be like Americans, talk like Americans, dress like Americans, do everything. Whereas they have their own pop culture, they have their own fashion, they have everything right now. Look at our fashion line, for instance. I can't remember when last I even bought a suit outside. I have young guys that make suit like bespoke so well you won't believe it. And it's all there. This is how we push our culture out there. But until the government starts to see the potentials in all of this, projecting us to the world, letting the world want to be like us instead of we wanting to be like the world. Until then maybe yes, the government, then we can say that the government is supporting us. But right now, truly, they're not. They're not seeing the potentials.
All right, so we're done with this line of questioning. So a lot of our users online sent in questions that they want you to answer. So these are from our users online. Someone's asking, what's your love life like?
I'm married with 3 kids. What am I saying? 4 kids. I have a kid. My first child was out of wedlock, and then I have 3 in wedlock. So that's my love life. I've got love for my wife and love for my kids. It doesn't mean even I'm still a TV face, I share that love with most of my fans, of course. My wife complains a lot, but it's the cross that we all have to bear.
All right, someone is asking, what's your favorite movie of 2019 and why? This is a movie that you did not act in.
The person is asking my favorite movie and why, and it's a movie I didn't act in. No, I'm biased when it comes to that. My favorite movie is Living in Bondage 2019. I'm very biased. Sorry.
What are your guilty pleasures?
What are my guilty pleasures right now? It's so hard to find, right? My guilty pleasure would probably be wristwatches. I know I'm just a freak for them.
All right, this one's from Twitter. Do you ever push to be featured in Hollywood movies? Do you get offers and turn them down?
For Hollywood movies? No, I wouldn't get an offer and turn it down. There's no freaking way. Yes, I would go for Hollywood films. However, I love it back home. You know, I love what we do. I mean, it's a growing process, and I feel like it can get, not like it can, it will get better. And of course, yes, not just wanting to go to Hollywood, but I believe sometime soon, I believe, no, I wouldn't want to use the word hopefully, but I believe sometime soon we'll be the one calling Hollywood to come and work with us. I just have this feeling someday I'm going to call like Denzel Washington, like come to Nigeria, let's shoot one fantastic action film like that. I'm hoping that one day it's going to happen.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oof. Now, I have a couple, so it's hard to just lace it down to one. I know I'm a big fan of Al Pacino, so Scarface, Godfather. I'm a big fan of Troy. I love Troy a lot. Yeah. So you could say those are my strong films.
What's your favorite food?
Man, that one too. I'm a foodie like that. Yoruba, I'm a like Nigerian. Ewedu is like my favorite. And the second is Tash and Banga.
What's your favorite karaoke song?
Wow. Now I lost track with karaoke because I've not been doing it for years now. So it's hard to tell that I do karaoke anymore. I know I used to love a whole lot of it's been so long I did that song. I don't know which one it is, whether it's Lionel Richie or Kenny Rogers, but I know Lady. I'm a freak for Lady, like the song Lady. I don't know which version, I think it's Kenny Rogers. Lady, I'm your knight and shining armor and I love you. I don't know if it's Lionel or Kenny. Sounds like Lionel. So I know it's one of them, but I know they did. Lionel has the original, and Kenny Rogers did the other one. But I know it's one of my best karaoke songs.
Okay, last question. Tell us one embarrassing story of yourself.
Okay, this was quite embarrassing. So I think it was somewhere in the United States, and it was sometime like mid 2000, and it was an I'm trying to remember the event, and after the event, so we're doing like a cocktail stand-up, and we had our drinks in our hands, and just meet and greet kind of like thingy. So I met this dignitary. I think it was an ambassador. I'm not sure. And he had some dignitaries around me. So there were about 5-7 of us standing and just talking about, future of Nollywood at the time and stuffs. And then this girl just walked past me while I was addressing them and whispered in my ears, while she tucked something into my pocket. I think I was wearing a blazer or something, so the pocket was just open. So she said, "You are very cute," she whispered in my ear. And, we were talking something in my pocket, so unconsciously, I just went into the pocket. She said, "You're cute," and then walked off, tucking the thing into my pocket. So I looked for the girl, it was quite crowded, and I pulled out what she put in my pocket, and it was a pant. So you can imagine, in front of these dignitaries, and you put out the pants, and I was confused. You could tell the confusion was so thick that even this guy started laughing at me because I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. Tuck it back in, look for the girl, no trash, nothing around. So I was just there staring and looking, and I was laughing at myself, and they started laughing. So then they just said, "Well, the life of a star." I never got to see the girl. I don't know how it was. I just know she went into the crowd. I don't know who it was, and I laughed at it. So, yes, I know, right? Yeah, that's one of my most embarrassing moments.